Howdy peeps and welcome back to the channel, and today we have a kit review. It's the Zvezda MiG 144 in 172 flavour. I think it's a fairly recent release. It was last year, 2017, and I'm going to be building this for Paul ISM's well, Christmas SIG. Basically, group build, SIG, whichever it is. It's on the Facebook page. If you search for Paul Bretland, you'll find the post, and it will tell you what you need to do to enter and blah blah blah. Anyway, it's a 172 twin-tailed jet build, and you got December to build it in, so plenty of time to build a 172. And as I've been, excuse me, always happens, as I've been having a major mojo slump of late, as I'm building the ICM Chiker at the moment, and that's just going to be built, painted, decaled and done. I'm not going to go into any depth on it, or I might put a wash on it, is about as far as I might get. So hopefully go a bit further with this and play about a bit. Let's have a look see inside the box. Now, being a typical Zvezda, I have actually cut the seals. We get the, smack the camera, yeah, we're back to normal. Box lid, and then we get the box which keeps everything nice and safe. There's not a huge amount to it, as it is, 172. And it does have internal ordnance. And we've got 2 sprues, some clear parts, and some decals, and that is basically it. So we'll open up the first bag and have a look see at the sprue. Try not to smack everything into the camera again. There was a bit of quite a rattling sound coming out of the box when I opened it, and I was a bit worried, but I needn't have been. So here we have what looks to be the front halves of the fuselage, wings, bottom half of the rear part of the fuselage, and I'm guessing gear bays, gear bay doors, and intake part. Now, looking at it, and I'm going to zoom you in if I can remember which way to zoom. There we go, so we can see the detail. Now, it's very fine recessed panel lines, and they all look crisp and deep enough to take a good wash. The tail will be on these fuselage nose sections, and it looks as though the panel lines remain consistent all the way around, which is always a good sign. The bottom half, we do have some internal detail in the front gear bay, again similar panel lines, and we have some detail inside the main gear bays. Get it in shot, you might see. On the reverse side, ejector pin central. There's a giveaway, mould 2004. So yeah, inside doesn't look too great, but let's be honest, you're not going to see any of it. So I'm guessing separate parts go on the wings, so I'm going to need to clean up the ejector pins. A bit bent over. Similar on the inside of the nose, full of ejector pins, but I believe there's a separate cockpit goes in, so you wouldn't ever see any of it. As we can see, yeah, 2004 mould on the bottom of the fuselage, so we shall see. This might be an older kit, well, 14 years old. Reboxed in 2017, so whether it's just using parts from a previous kit, I don't know. Whether it was a futuristic what if kind of plane back then and now it's an actual plane. It's one of those things. And the second sprue, pop the bag over there. I do have to remember to look up to the camera when I'm doing this rather than down at the sprue, which is where I want to be looking. So we have, again, full to scale, fairly well detailed exhausts, cans, afterburners, internal fans, landing gear, wheels. Cockpit looks fairly bland. It was no detail, but you got a multi-part excuse me, ejector seat. I believe it is going to be just decals for the instruments, which is fine by me, because the scale, the size of the cockpit, you're not really going to be seeing much in there anyway. Lower rear portion of the fuselage, again with the same kind of panel line details. Up here we got pylons, either the, I'm guessing they're probably the canards, underside fins, fans, randomness, the wing infills and the tail planes. Also have a pilot. His butt looks fairly plain. What does his front look like? He's actually fairly well detailed. Yeah, I've certainly seen much worse pilots in 172. Let's get him nice and close so you can actually see him. There we go. Looks considerably less like a molten blob of plastic than an Airfix one. And as you see the inside of the burner cans, we've got some really quite nice detail in there as well. Not that you'll ever really see it. Various other parts, again the same thing with plenty of eject pin marks on the insides, but yeah, it's on the inside, it's not a problem. And I'm guessing a lot of the other parts on here are either gear bay doors or flappy bits or intakey bits. But so 2 sprues down, they both look fairly solid and good. And the bit that was causing me concern about the rattling sound inside the box, we get admittedly a pretty basic stand, no texture or anything on the base, and then the actual stand part, that side looks okay. That side we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eject pin marks and a big sink mark up the top. Oh no, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 eject pin marks, sorry. But, you know, not too awkward to fill. Easiest way might just be to cut a strip of styrene and just fill the whole thing with just a sheet of styrene in there if you wanted to. Just literally glue a chunk over the top, cover it all up, and oversize, and then just cut around it and fare it in with a sander. But yeah, nice option to have. Now to have a stand, to be able to do it wheels up with a pilot, and we have clear parts and decals, decals, whatever the hell you want to call them. So just a 2-part canopy, not the greatest, plenty of distortion, but in this case being 172, oh yeah, you can see through it fine. It just, I mean, the back part isn't too bad, but the front part distorts all over the place. What that means is you can get away with not doing quite as good a job with the cockpit, because it's going to distort and people aren't going to be able to see it. Especially if you've got the pilot in there, because he'll hide most of it anyway. So yeah, clear parts will do, providing they fit, they're see-through. And then dinky little decal sheet, decal, whatever you want to call them. We all know what we're talking about. And I've not had any issues, throat playing up, with Zvezda decals in the past. They fairly thin, in register, behave themselves, go down well. As you see, there's not exactly a lot. So yay! Although that is still more than the Chica. I think the scheme I've chosen on the Chica has like 6 decals. So that's like a half-hour job to get them done, thankfully. So that is what we get in the box. I'll just do that back up again. No etch, no nothing. Random bump in a bunch of languages. Blah 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 blah. 5th generation. Supersonic cruising speed. Supersonic. First blah blah blah. First test flight was February 29th, 2000. So, you know, despite the fact it's a current or latest generation, it's not as new as you'd think it was. The camera's going saggy. Didn't tighten up the doohickey enough, obviously. So we start with the cockpit going together. As I said, pretty basic. Not a lot to go in. The instrument panels is basically decals. Nose goes together. Pilot goes into his seat, goes in. Rest of the nose being assembled. All the intakes and stuff going together. And here we go. We've got the 2 versions. One with gear up, one with gear down. So you're still putting the inner gear bays in, but you've got the doors to cover them anyway. And gear bays open, engines going in, so you've got the fans at the front and back. Step telling you how to take things off and clean them up. Weird, in the middle of the instruction manual. Wings with the tail planes going together. Going on, they kind of sandwich between the fuselage halves. Well, it's not saying anything about putting that part in, which I'd have thought you'd probably do before you put the wings on. Join the front to the back, which is blooming throat. So join the front end to the back end, which is where, if you're going to have problems, I would have thought that's probably where you're going to find any nasty seams. But hey, then you can do canopy closed or open. 2 different versions, one with the cans open, one with the cans closed. Undercarriage going in, open canopy going on. Canards, underside wings, ordnance, hardpoints, pylons, that's it. Various flappy bits and finny bits, and then going on the stand. This kit was developed with the full cooperation of Mikhail Gurevich MiG Design Bureau. Finished model incorporates all current unclassified information and was approved by MiG. So, yeah. Might mean something, might not. Colour callouts are in something I can't read, i.e. Russian, and Humbrol. So neither particularly helpful. There's nothing spectacular there though. Medium grey, aircraft blue, light green, black, dark grey, gunmetal, white, midnight blue, flesh and slate grey, and I'm guessing most of those are probably for the pilot. And then on the back, very dull decal call out colour schemes, and they are in, we got A on the top and B on the bottom, which are what colours? Medium grey on top, aircraft blue on the bottom. So yeah, fairly standard colour scheme. Not too much in the way of decals, and a pretty cool looking plane if you ask me. So that concludes a quick hunt through the box, see what we got. What are we today? Is the 27th Tuesday, so with a bit of luck I might actually be starting this on Friday, and I have a month to build it, which, you know, it sounds plenty of time, but oh, smack into things, stick that on the hearse so it actually looks kind of level. Yeah, I know, camera's gone. But yeah, we shall see how we go. Well, with work and being what I do, it gets very busy this time of year, so it might just be the odd hour or a couple of little bits at the weekend that I can get around to doing stuff, but I can't see me not getting done in a month. Well, at least not having it painted and decal. It might not be weathered and all sorts of cool stuff, but it'll be painted. Anyway, thanks for watching. Enjoy your hobby, whether it be model making or fish keeping or whatever else it might be. Yeah, we all do different things, each to their own. Have fun. But yeah, have fun. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye.